Welcome back to Coding the Sounds of Music. In this video, we will build on the knowledge gained in the previous videos and be challenged to play 3 different kinds of notes at different tempos: the quarter, half, and whole. Take a moment to pause your video now and navigate using the ClickPad to Challenge 4 on page 2.17. Challenge 4. Play orchestral tuning A4 for the following notes with a 2-second rest between each. Let's go ahead and practice one of these so that you can get started coding this. I'm going to choose one that is in the middle. Let's do this one right here. Let's play a half note at 100 beats per minute of 440. Alright, well, to do that I'm going to have to use skills from the previous video. Let's first go to the next page to my Python editor. So to do that, I'll press Control, ClickPad to the right, and here I am in my editor. Notice the TI Hub is already imported for me, but my cursor is at the beginning of the line, so I want to go to the next line to begin typing, so I can just hit my trackpad down, and I'll go ahead and insert my tone method. So I'll press the menu key, choose number 8 for TI Hub, number 2 for built-ins, and number 3 for sound. And I want that first method, tone, so I'll choose 1. The frequency is 440. And I'll press Tab to go to the next prompt, time. And here's where I need to think a little bit about how long this lasts. Remember, the challenge is to play it for a half note at a tempo of 440. Well, let's get our trusty Scratchpad calculator out. So I'll press this Scratchpad button in the upper left like we learned in the previous video, and I need to calculate how long the beat lasts at 100 beats per minute. To do that, I'll use my trusty formula, 60 divided by BPM, so 60 divided by my BPM, which is 100, and then I'll press enter to evaluate. It says 3/5 of a second. Well, I'd like to know the decimal of that, so I'm going to press the Control key and enter. Okay, it's 0.6 of a second. But hold the phone. A half note gets 2 of the beats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my trackpad and click up once to grab that 0.6 seconds. Notice it's highlighted, and I'll press the enter key to return it back down, and now I can just multiply this by 2. You can probably do all that in your head, but we'll just use the calculator to make sure. Press enter. That's the time period I need to play 440 in order for this to be a half note. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to close my Scratchpad by pressing the escape key, or remember, you can close it by pressing the X. And right here is where I put in my 1.2 seconds. Alright, that looks like that's what I need to play tuning A4, that's that guy, for a half a note. That's that period of time right there. Okay, that's half a note right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the end of my line and press enter, but I also need to insert a sleep command to account for this 1.2 seconds. Because remember, we learned that if you follow a tone command with another tone command with no sleep in between, the second tone command will overwrite the first and you won't hear the first. So I need to put that sleep in there before I do my rest sleep. So I'm going to go to menu, and then I'll go down to Hub number 8, And I'll go to number 5, commands, and I'll choose sleep. And here I'll put my 1.2 in there again. That's for my half note. Click the trackpad once to the right to get outside of the parentheses, and then enter to go to the next line. And now here's where I put my rest in. Remember we said in music, rest is inserted between notes, and during a rest, no note is played, no sound at all comes out of the instrument. That's called a rest, and I'm going to put a 2-second rest in here. So I'm going to go to Menu, and I'm going to go to Hub, and I'm going to go to number 5, Commands, and Sleep, and I'm going to put in my 2 seconds. Now remember we mentioned in the previous video that you could combine these 2 sleeps if you wanted. You could have a single sleep for 3.2 seconds, but I like this because this one is for the half note and this one is for the rest. So it just kind of helps me remember it a little better. Okay, before I play this, make sure that your hub is connected, and I'm going to hold my hub up to the microphone so you can hear this. And then I'm going to press the Control R, so the Control key and R. Alright, did you hear that? Let's play it one more time. I'll press Control R again. Well, there you have it. That was 440 at half a note. Let's do one more example. I'll switch back to the challenge by pressing Control, click pad to the left once and twice. So we just did this second task. Let's scroll down and let's do something a little different. Let's try this one. Let's try a whole note at 60 BPM. So to do that, I'm going to go back 60 and a whole note. So I'm going to go back to the right. And right here, my cursor is at the end of that 2-second rest, so I'll press enter. And again, I'll choose Menu and Hub and Built-in Devices, Sound, and Tone, number 1. My frequency is 440. I'll press Tab to go to the time interval. And here's where I need to be able to put in the time for a whole note at 60 beats per minute. Again, I'll press my scratch pad button and I'll use my trusty formula, 60 divided by 60. So that's 60 seconds divided by 60 BPM. I press enter, and sure enough, that's 1. And then I'll use the click pad to go up, as if I'm sure we can figure this out on our own. But to be complete, remember there are 4 beats per whole note, so I'll multiply this by 4 and press enter. So it looks like to do a whole note at 60 beats per minute, this will last for 4 seconds. Okay, I'll press escape to exit. I'll enter my time of 4 seconds. Press click pad once to the right to get outside the parenthesis and enter for the new line. Again, we need to have that sleep to provide time for the hub to play the note. So I'll go to Menu, Hub, Commands, and Sleep. And I'll put in my 4 seconds. I'll click pad once to the right to exit the parentheses. Press enter again. And now I need my rest time, so I'll put my menu. I'll choose 8 for Hub, choose 5 for Commands, and 1 for Sleep, and I'll put in my 2 seconds. Now we have our first tone, which was a half a note of 440 at 100 beats per minute, and this second one is the same A4 for a whole note at a tempo of 60. Well, let's listen to this. I'll bring my hub over by my microphone so we can hear it, and I'll press the Control R to play it. There's the first. And the second. Did you notice that the whole note at the slower tempo lasted much longer? Let's try that again. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to go back to this page, click Pat to the left, and what I want you to do is right here to pause the video now, and I want you to complete the remainder of these tasks and complete this program. When you're all finished with that, resume the video and we'll wrap up. Well, I hope you got your program finished. Now you've had experience with calculating the time needed to play a particular note, quarter, half, or whole, at a particular tempo, that is BPM. Now that you've learned how long a note lasts, let's go to our next video, which is Challenge 5, and we're going to learn what tone different notes are played. So stay tuned for our next video. I'll see you there.